Beer, rum, and rock and roll. Saving rock, one conversation at a time.
Welcome back to another episode of the Beer, Rum, and Rock and Roll podcast. I'm your host, Randy Legault, and with me, once again, in the co-host seat, is my good friend and fellow music freak, Jon Garner. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, brother, how we doing?
We're doing good. Yeah, feels like summer finally in Calgary.
It's only been like 100 degrees plus a humidity down here in Central Florida, so yeah, it's pretty warm.
The problem I have is my two boys, who are 7 and 11, they're on summer vacation, John. So entertaining two kids like that for 8 weeks is a challenge, let's say. So it's summer camps, grandma and grandpa, this kind of stuff. And I work at home. Andrea works at home part-time. What I was really hoping is we could get them both in summer school for 8 weeks.
How's that work for you?
That didn't fly. That idea did not fly.
I'm really lucky. I'm on the other side of that. One's working really hard in the food industry, and the youngest just graduated high school, and so it's they're off doing their thing. It's awesome.
You've got different issues.
I got different. That's for a different show.
To quote my sister, bigger kids, bigger problems.
Yeah,
it's all good.
It's all good.
Okay, man, let's get down to it. Let's waste no time. So what we're going to do on this show is we're going to count down the top 10 AC/DC songs of all time, according to us. Plus 3 honorable mentions, of course.
Sure, let's go with that.
Let's go with 3. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah. So I've got my bedazzled AC/DC shirt on, as you can see. What are you rocking there? What do you got going?
Very, very sparkling. I'm sporting my own personal mantra.
Am I reading it, or am you? Or are you?
you read it. I can't remember it.
John's shirt says, and I quote, "I'm not always a dick. Just kidding. Go fuck yourself." That might be on my tombstone if I have one, you know.
Well, if it isn't, I'll write it.
I've also got, I got Malcolm here at the ready, you know. Got my buddy. There you got Angus. Perfect. That works out perfect, man. You're the biggest AC/DC fan I know, so it was a fucking no-brainer to have you co-host this one.
You set my world upside down, because when you asked me to do it, I kind of felt at some point it was going to come, and I was going to be ridiculously offended if you chose anyone else other than me. And then as soon as you did, I think my first text to you was, "Fucking dick move, pal." Like, how am I supposed to pick 10? Like, Jesus Christ.
That's your double-edged sword. So how difficult was it for you, man, to put this list together?
It was tough, and I got people that can vouch for the angst I was going through, and not being able to necessarily bounce ideas off of, because it's like, well, what do you think? Why am I asking somebody else? It's my list. And actually, what really helped, Randy, was actually going back and looking at a few of the top 10s that you guys have done before.
Oh, thank you.
Well, it was. And specifically the top 10 guitarists, which you all got wrong. And Reed particularly was like, I don't care. This is my list. And this is why. So that was where I came down on it from. It was like, okay, my ground zero every time with every song was, how do I remember it, A, for the first time, because all of these songs grab me at one point or another immediately, and then do they still resonate? That was my sort of way of selecting the songs. There was some really, really tough decisions.
Absolutely, dude. And not only selecting the songs, but what fucking order. Like, that's the top 5 especially. I mean, at that point, it's just impossible, right? And to your point, yeah, it's your list. But, you know, I'm still going to make fun of it, probably. You know, it's just how I roll.
So, well, of course, you probably should be wearing this shirt in fact. But I think the what I'm actually most intrigued about with this show is, I'm really curious. Do we have 10 matching songs in slightly different order? Could they be in the same order? Do we have completely different tracks? That's what I'm interested in. Let's not forget. I mean, we did go to Vancouver on a bit of a roadie a number of years ago to see this band, and I mean that was a bit messy.
So that was the Black Ice tour. I saw Rock or Bust, but that was after Mel had passed away. But yeah, that was awesome, dude. Like that show was phenomenal.
That was epic. And obviously we spent a lot of time in various bars and dives and concerts and invariably this band comes up in conversation at some point, mostly because I bring it up. We'll see where it all pans out. I'm kind of curious.
To quote Saturday Night Live, it was so fucking hard to put this list together. So fucking hard. Okay, man, you being the guest, I'm going to let you pick if you want to go first or second. To you, sir.
Well, I think I clearly will have the best list, so I think it's important for the viewers to take a moment, absorb the greatness. You're up first.
Well, the fucking trash talking is starting early. Okay. I'd be happy to go first. All right, coming in at number 10. And the way I decided to do this was give you 2 or 3 lyric lines to see if you can guess what song it is. It'll take you 2 seconds, I'm sure, but I thought that might be cool. So here we go. Number 10. I was so satisfied, deep down inside, like a hand in a velvet glove. I'm going touch too much, buddy. Number 10. This is from Highway to Hell, 1979, of course. This, to me, is Bon Scott at his sleazy best. I mean, the groove is just fucking killer. And after I'm done the review of this song, everything's going to be on repeat, by the way. Great groove, great riff. It's going to be all the same, but I'm going to do my best to mix it up. What else can I say about this one? You really hear that Mutt Lange production on those gang vocals in that chorus, man. It just sounds fucking phenomenal. And here's another thing that I'm going to be saying over and over. There's always a breakdown. You know what I mean by that, where they strip shit down. Yeah. So there's a breakdown after the solo, and they do that call and response, in this case, lyric thing. So Bond's like, seems like a touch, and the boys go, touch too much. You know it's much too much, much too much. It sounds so cool, and it just gives the song those dynamics you need, right? Like I think this is a great song, man. And just to add one more thing, a fun fact for you, John. It's Axl Rose's favorite AC/DC song.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah.
That's well, seeing as he fronted the band for a tour. I mean, I guess that counts for something.
How did you feel about that? Just sidebar, just briefly. How did you feel when he was doing that?
A massive singer with a massive name. I just thought it was an interesting choice. And, at the end of the day, if the bandy's happy with it, who am I to argue? I didn't see it, so fine. I'm waiting for the next one.
Yeah, my 2 cents on the Axl thing. As you know, canceling a tour is a big fucking deal. There's a lot of things in place there. You don't just cancel a worldwide tour. So I get why they wanted to keep it going. But man, when you watch the footage, there's no denying he killed it. Who else could sing that stuff like that? And he's into it. He's for real. He loves those songs. I know as a hardcore fan, it's tough to watch, but he really did kill it. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, I mean, AC/DC is a foundation part of Guns N' Roses.
Right.
GNR are who they are because of this band, so not a huge shock.
Absolutely.
But getting back to Touch Too Much, it is a great song. I echo your sentiment. Unfortunately for everybody watching this, you're pretty much going to hear on repeat all the fucking time. Great song, great drive, good lick. It's just going to be the way it is because at the end of the day, that's who they are, right? They have a way of playing, and they've been playing that way since 1973 in one form or another, with some peaks and troughs throughout, which I'm sure we'll get into in different discussions. But it should be on a list somewhere. It's just not on mine.
Okay, man. What do you got for number 10? What are you coming in with?
Okay, so I'm gonna follow your lead as best as I can because you're way better at this than me. But so I'm gonna give an opening lyric here and see if you can get this. Whoa, whoa.
I could name that song, and is that even, yeah, a couple notes? Sure.
The opening track of 1991's Razor's Edge, Thunderstruck. I'll be honest, Randy, I went a little bit backwards and forwards on this, only because I was like, oh, is this overplayed? And then I'm like, Johnny, it's your list. I still remember being in my apartment in St. John's Wood in northwest London in 1991 when I put this disc on for the first time, and that little opening riff came on, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. And to my opening earlier, it still resonates. And even as a diehard AC/DC fan, if you do think, yeah, okay, but it's been played a lot, what I beg you to do is, you see what's going on behind me? This is the 1991 Castle Donington Monsters of Rock
Yep.
DVD. I was in that mess somewhere.
Why do you always have to bring that up, that you were actually at that
Because you
show?
fucking weren't, and it's awesome.
Did you piss in a bottle and throw it backwards, or?
Hell yeah, I did.
Well, you can't lose your spot. That's so awesome that you were at that, dude. But continue.
But when that whole thing starts and he rips into that and the place goes absolutely fucking mental, that's what that song is. It's just awesome. It's AC/DC at their prime.
Dude, couple things. It's overplayed for a fucking reason. A. B, if I'm not mistaken, you're hearkening back to when you first heard it. That's what matters. Who gives a shit? It's overplayed. Yeah, it's at every sporting event for a reason. But the first time you heard it, it knocked your fucking socks off, and that's what matters. I love, too, how, just thinking of Donington, that concert DVD, I love the plexiglass on the stage where you see Angus from underneath doing the duck walk. It's so cool, man.
Right up his shorts.
So awesome. Yeah, I can't argue that, man. Yeah, overplayed, but overplayed for a fucking reason. Okay, number 9. You're always pushing, shoving, satisfied with nothing. You bitch. You must be getting old. Honey, what do you do for money? So my number 9 is What Do You Do for Money? Off Back in Black, of course. I had to rep the Brian era, of course. I mean, I'm a Bond guy, deep down. If I had to just listen to one era, it's Bon Scott all day long. But there's no denying that there's tracks on Back in Black that are just undeniable. And for me, this is one of them, even though it is a deeper track. It's not one of the hits, but it's a solid rocker. What's not to like? I mean, there's something about this song. And one of the parts I really love about it is right before the solo, Brian's lyric. He goes, what do you do for money, honey? How do you get your kicks? What do you do for money, honey? How do you get your licks? Go. And Angus just, boom, off he goes. I just love that moment in that song. For some reason, it just hits me every single time. I just fucking love it. It sounds amazing. This whole album does, of course, because of Mutt Lange. And yeah, that's my number 9, man. What do you do for money?
It is a fun one. It's that little tongue-in-cheek, which they are completely renowned for.
Yeah, the sexual innuendo is everywhere on this stuff.
Everywhere. All right. I want you to hear me out there. This is for all you bad boys.
I know what
This
it
is the
is.
story of the Satan rock and roll. So put your hand in your pocket, get your $10 out and give it to me. Landslide from 1983's Flick of the Switch. I fucking love this song, man. And as soon as they start off, just that whole little jive there from Brian, and then they just rip into it, and it is a rocker. You know, AC/DC go all over the place, but there's a lot of, I would say, that sort of that mid-tempo stuff. For me, when they crank it and go up the gears, that's what I want to hear. And that's what this song is. I think Flick of the Switch is an underrated album in its entirety. I think it's got some killer songs on it. This for me is a standout, mostly just because of the pace and the ferocity of which Angus and Malcolm just rip into this thing. It's balls to the wall. Love it.
I love you going deep, because that's a deep track. Because somebody hearing those lyrics, they're like, which one is that? Yeah, and I knew you were going to pick that one because I know you well enough that I know you love that song. And I am with you 100%. Flicker the Switch is an underrated album. I fucking love that album. For me, it's the last AC/DC album that I like wall to wall. After that one, I kind of do a bit of cherry picking. Not that it's shit after that by any means, but that's the last one that's just wall to wall awesome. Like after that, it gets a little thinner somehow. But yeah, Flick of the Switch is the shit, and that song is a fucking ripper.
It's a freight train, man.
Number 8. You get nothing for nothing. Tell me, who can you trust? We got what you want, you got the lust. I'm going with If You Want Blood, You've Got It. Off Highway to Hell. It's just a fun riff. And it's got some serious fucking swing to it, right? I love this one. I love how it starts with just the riff, just the guitar riff, and then the band joins in. I love that. They do a lot of that, but particularly cool on this one. It's killer. And Angus's solo is tasty as fuck. Another cool breakdown. I love when Bond screams the title. You got it! And then what's he say? I want you to bleed for me. And then it builds again. And the band just goes fucking off and takes it home. It's killer. It's just killer. And another thing I love about it, this DVD right here, which I'm sure you have, AC/DC Family Jewels. And any AC/DC fan probably has this, but if you don't, you should get it. It's got all sorts of cool shit, TV performances, live performances, some studio, that live to studio vibe. That's what this one is. So there's a video of this on here. And what's cool about it is they recreate that If You Want Blood, You Got It live album cover. So you actually see a guitar going through Angus, blood goes everywhere. And this is after that album. So it was pretty cool to see that, man. I thought that was pretty fucking cool.
In grade school, as an art project, I drew that album cover.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah. It didn't go down well in my public school.
What a great album cover that is. Actually, I like the back where he's on his stomach and the neck is sticking out of his fucking back. It's so cool, man. A fun fact for you. I don't know if you remember this movie, but it was a movie called Empire Records. So it had Rory Gallagher, the burnout from Dazed and Confused. He was in it. Renee Zellweger and Liv Tyler in it. And it's like a day in the life of these kids who work at a record store. So there's a montage in there where they're all fucking rocking out to this song. So that's my story, man. If You Want Blood, You Got It is my number 8. No argument?
No, God, no. It's a great track.
We gotta argue. Let's just fake an argument.
I mean, what do you want me to do? I love that song. It's just not on my list. I mean, my number 8, on the day I was born, the rain fell down. 1977's Let There Be Rock, Bad Boy Boogie. Just ripper. We'll get to a little bit later my favorite album because I got a track off of there a little bit. But I think, well, while I was going back through this, okay, so first and foremost, I have listened to every single AC/DC song at least twice going through this.
Oh, awesome.
That's the depth I've gone through, the depth of faith I have to go as far as I possibly can.
John, I appreciate that. I did not do that. Full disclosure.
I mean, I won't lie. There's a few I kind of fast forwarded through. I don't think I spent more than 3 seconds on the whole Bullbreaker album, but that's a.
How about did you kind of skip over Cover You in Oil?
What was that?
They can't all be home runs.
They know, but oh my God, Bad Boy Boogie. It's just Bon Scott cracking it, and they are just blowing it out of the water again. This is a sleazy song for me. It could be Bond's anthem. This is what he was all about. Just having a blast, being the bad boy. But what a great riff. And it just kicks off right out of the gate. I know we like those tempo changes. There's no rest on this one. From start to finish, it's fucking balls out.
That's okay too. Nothing wrong with that. Now, see, you have a different interpretation of me. Like when I think of that song, I think of Angus as being the bad boy. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the one he drops trowel live. Shows everybody his fucking ass and shit, right? And I like the fact that this is a somewhat deep cut again, man. So kudos. Love it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this song. Absolutely. And I'm surprised, well, we're not halfway through, but no overlaps yet.
No
We'll see
overlaps
what
yet.
happens. Okay, we good? We moving on?
Moving on.
Okay, number 7. Gee, you're going to have a hard time guessing what this one is, John. I got my bell. Gonna take you to hell. I'm gonna get you. Satan get you. I'm going back to the Back in Black album, man. Hell's Bells. Gotta do it. Like, think about that. So it's 1980, right? You got a lead singer who's passed away the year before. You replace this iconic dude with some basically unknown guy. Yeah, the hardcores know he's from Geordie, but at the time, nobody had a clue who this fucking guy was. And you drop the needle on this, and this is the first thing you hear? Are you fucking kidding me, man? Like, it's such a badass riff. It's so cool. And it's, one of their more epic songs, I would say. Like, it's got a darkness.
Yeah.
It's slower. It's more epic. It's got a haunting kind of vibe to it.
I got a little anecdote for you, though. You like the whiz type stuff. So the bell itself was made in a town called Loughborough in the United Kingdom, which was renowned for making bells, big-ass bells, and that's where I went to school. A lot of my childhood was spent in that town in the Midlands, Leicestershire, and the home of the bell makers.
How fucking cool is that? I'm not sure you told me that. If you did, I forgot. That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Did they make the one that Brian jumps on and swings to live? Did they make that one?
I believe that's true.
Not just the one used on the album. They made that fucking live one?
The actual bell. It's not just a prop. It's a real bell.
I definitely didn't know that. That's a legit bell. That's not a prop.
Yeah, no, that thing falls down. It's making a mess.
And I like how he's on top of it with no safety shit on whatsoever. He's just freewheeling it up there. Okay, I'm not done with Hell's Bells yet. Angus's fucking solo in this one, for him, it's extra dynamic and extra melodic. Like, he really shines in this one, man. As awesome as he is, I think he is a bit underrated. I think people think he does the same fucking thing over and over. Bullshit. He's fucking awesome. And the vocal, back to Brian, on this whole album, on this song in particular, is so awesome. Like, he kills it. It's unreal. It's just unbelievable, man. And back then, he wrote all the lyrics. That eventually faded.
Right.
But on this album, he did. And they're just really good. Let me just give you a little chunk here. I'm a rolling thunder, pouring rain, coming on like a hurricane. My lightning's flashing across the sky. You're only young, but you're gonna die. I mean, when I'm in grade, what? That would be grade 9 or 10? Please. It's over. Fucking Hell's Bells. Number 7.
Number 7 for me, smiling face and loving eyes. You keep on telling me all those lies. From Highway to Hell, beating around the bush. I tried really hard not to be a sort of, I gotta pick one from this album, one from that album. And as I was scrolling through, it was stuff that hit me and jolted a memory for me. And beating around the bush was one of them. I love the stop-start nature of the riff. It's going and then it stops and it comes back again. And it's a really catchy hook with, basically every song they've ever written has a catchy hook to it. The rhythm is solid, and we haven't talked about it at all at this stage. And I don't necessarily think it's specific on this song because it's basically everywhere he plays. But Phil Rudd's drumming is fucking ridiculous. He is a literal metronome. There's nothing flashy about it in what we would consider, hard rock or metal drumming, but it is state of the art, given a groove and given something, a backbeat to build off of. I think it's just brilliant.
No fucking argument here, man. You mentioned the word hook. With AC/DC, it's hooks and groove. Groove is huge for me. Not everybody needs it. That's why I can't listen to, Slayer. To me, there's no groove in it.
Right.
Just me. Nothing against people who like Slayer. But man, that groove, I'm just a sucker for it. And where does that start? Behind the fucking kit is where it starts.
Right.
Like fucking Phil Rudd, not only is he a metronome, he fucking hits so hard. Like he just goes to town. And from what I gather, all the reading I've done about musicians and shit, people think it's easy, and it's fucking not. It's easier almost to do a bunch of crazy fills and shit.
Right.
To lay it down like he does is really difficult to do, and he's the fucking king of it, man. Absolutely.
No question. No
Beating
question.
around the bush. Yeah, good one. I love that song. Okay, coming in at number 6. Alrighty. She ain't pretty. She ain't exactly small.
Oh!
42, 39, 56. You could say she's got it all. Of course, I'm talking about Whole Lotta Rosie of Let There Be Rock, going back to 1977 for this one. I mean, you got to go to the lyrics first because it's hilarious. It's that tongue-in-cheek Bon Scott thing. Apparently, it's about this heavy-set Tasmanian woman he fucking had a one-nighter with, right? So those are her measurements, 42, 39, 56. And then in the lyrics, he also says she weighs about 19 stone. Do you know what 19 stone is, John? Do you know how much that is?
Yeah, it's 13 pounds in a stone.
Let me do the math for you. 266 pounds. So he's not a fattest. He likes them all. He's like Gene Simmons. Fat, skinny, medium. He doesn't care. Clearly. Oh, man. Let's talk about the music. The riff. Iconic riff. And it eventually becomes another iconic part of the show where everybody yells Angus at the right time, right? You know what I'm talking about. AC/DC fans know what I'm talking about. And if you're not yelling that, you got to go.
Get out.
You got to leave. Again, I got to mention the breakdown in this. It's that call and response thing again, but this one's not lyric. It's the music call and response, right? Da-da-da-da-da. It's so cool. They bring it down, bring it back up like they always do. And we've mentioned this already. But the AC/DC Donington show, which I have on Blu-ray right here, it's the first time they used, and right behind John on the screen, first time they used the big inflatable Rosie, which was really funny and cool and all that, right? So that's Razor's Edge Tour, obviously. They were putting on a show, man. These guys are putting on a fucking show. It's a fucking banger. To use your British vernacular, it's a full-on banger, John.
It's a dandy, that's for sure. There are several tracks. You know, if you're going to, I think if you're going to sort of say, okay, the epitome of AC/DC, Rosie is right on that. For me, it's the opening riff.
So one more thing before we move on to your number 6. Like any great band, I feel, most of them anyway, AC/DC for sure, the song live is better than the studio. Like if you listen to the studio version of this on Let There Be Rock, it's great. But the live version is where it fucking shines, man. Oh my God. That's all I'm saying about that. If you're not better live, well, maybe you should fucking work a little harder.
I can't believe you have that at number 6. But anyway.
Hey, you should see what's coming.
Yeah, that's what she said. Number 6. You've gone to the well twice with Back in Black. I'm going back to Razor's Edge one more time. Wild Beast, I'll make you mine. Taste your kiss. Sweet lips divine. Fire your fucking guns. I was blown away with Thunderstruck when that came on. When Fire Your Guns came on as a second track, I had to sit down.
I was winded.
I was done. I was like, I don't think I can take any more of this. Because I got Thunderstruck at 10 and I got this at 6. This is the song off that album for me. This is as AC/DC as you can get. It's a fucking killer rock and roll riff. And they are just absolutely flying. You gotta fire your guns!
There's 2 songs on this list that I knew you were going to pick, and it was Landslide and this one. And you know what? As great as Phil Rudd is, and he's great. He's the fucking shit. He's the drummer for AC/DC. This is Chris Slade.
Yep.
And I think as far as Razor's Edge goes as an album, he suits it. He's got a thing going. You can tell it's him playing on this song. It's just got a certain thing going on. And yeah, it's a belter.
It's a ring-a-ding-dong dandy. I love this. I like the fast ones, man. What can I say?
I know, me too. I knew that was coming. Okay, coming in at number 5. We're at the halfway point. See how I did that math there?
Well done. Hey,
You like that?
learning. You've been reading and shite.
Let there be light, let there be drums, let there be guitar, let there be rock. The title track of Let There Be Rock is my number 5. What I would call another AC/DC epic. It's just something about it that's just more epic. So you got that storytelling lyric from Bon. So he takes that Chuck Berry line from Roll Over Beethoven, tell Tchaikovsky the news. It's kind of like the history of rock, right? In 4 minutes or whatever the fuck it is. I like during the verse where it's just bass and drums. And Bon. Yeah, and then the chorus comes in, it's full on, right? And another thing I love about it, you get not only one, you get 2 kick-ass Angus solos. I like the second one a little bit better, but they're both awesome. And they're both really unique too. One's more bluesy, the other one's a little more shreddy. Hey, 2 Angus solos in a song, I'll take it. And again, live, off the chain. This one is fucking crazy. And back in the day, that's when Angus did his extended, he'd go on somebody's shoulders and go into the crowd and do the whole fucking thing, right? And the final thing I want to mention is they actually did a video for this, which I don't recall seeing back in the day, but it's set in a church and Bond's got the priest outfit on. The rest of the boys in the band are altar boys and shit. I mean, it's pretty funny, right? Anytime religion gets the fucking jab, I'm all for it, right?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Yeah.
So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. But yeah, Let There Be Rock is my number 5. You're not going to argue that, John?
No argument, brother.
Well, you might argue the placement, and that's probably
I might argue the placement, but I mean, what am I going to do with that? Number 5 for me. The sky is raging. The winds are howling. The world is coming to rescue you. From 2008, Black Ice, Stormy Mayday. Oh my God, man! I just got a little shiver thinking about this. I think it's a really cool song. The fact that Brendan O'Brien got Angus to put on a slide for this is a game changer. Complete game changer for this song. And I actually love the album. I think Black Ice was very much a comeback for them of sorts. And it was like, hey, we really can still do this. When I heard that slide to start off with, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? There's other tracks on there that I love, but I'm always coming back to this one. I'm a sucker for a slide guitar. I wish you'd do it a little bit more. You don't want overkill, but the fact that it's there, I'm going back to that bad boy as often as I possibly can. Love Stormy Mayday.
Wow, I stand corrected. 3 songs I knew you were going to pick. I forgot about that one. I know you love this song. I agree with you. The slide thing was really cool and unexpected. So you're probably a Thorogood fan then, yes? If you like slide.
The Delaware Destroyers, how can you not? And away we go.
Yeah.
Come on.
Obviously. And Black Ice, I would say off the top of my head, best wall-to-wall album after Flick of the Switch. I'd go that far. As a body of work, I think it's that strong. It's fucking really good.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
And a great way for Mal to go out on that album because it's awesome. Yeah. Good call. Stormy. Oh, man. Awesome. Pointing out once again, no overlap. And we're at number 4.
That's crazy.
Dude. No way I could have predicted this. Absolutely no way. Okay, I think we might overlap on this one.
Okay.
Okay? My number 4. I'm going to pull it. Pull it. Pull the trigger.
Pull the trigger.
Shoot to Thrill, Play to Kill, Too Many Women with Too Many Pills. I'm going Shoot to Thrill off Back in Black. I'm going Back in Black 3 times, John, and I'm a Bond guy. What's fucking happening?
I don't know, dude.
Okay, dude. So the lyrics on this one, I'm going to read the wiki paragraph because it just summarizes it perfectly. So the lyrics on this one, here's what it means. It's about a neighborhood pusher who made daily rounds throughout the London suburbs, selling narcotics to bored, lonely, and depressed housewives. These substance-affected homemakers would then peruse the local clubs and bars, seeking out torrid extramarital relationships. So they're fucking housewife whores, is what they're saying.
That's awesome.
So that's what the gist of the song is. Who cares? It sounds great. Back to Phil Rudd. The drum fills on this song are so badass. Phil just kills it. And the solo from Angus, as usual, check. Awesome, right?
Yeah.
Something on that note, The breakdown after that main solo, he says was inspired by The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, like that standoff at the end, the Sergio Leone standoff. He was trying to capture that vibe, I guess. So it's got that quiet build up and then the tension and then the finale. He kind of tried to do that, right? And I think he did it, man. It's cool.
And let's not forget, it was reignited with Iron Man 2. Was it Iron Man 2 that it came back in?
You are correct, sir. 12, count them, 12 years ago.
Right.
I mean, that just goes to show you the power of this fucking song, right? It's got 168 million views on YouTube. This is what you call your stone cold classic, John. That's what that is. And dig this. Was it released as a single? No. What? Believe it or not, it was never released as a single. Anyway, Shoot to Thrill. Number 4 on my top 10 AC/DC songs.
And Randy, not on my list.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
No, so far you've been, pretty wrong.
It's no Stormy Mayday. What are you talking about? You know what had to happen? Angus had to play a little slide in his Shoot to Thrill solo.
How hard can it be? Like, come on, man, this isn't rocket science.
Get out the slide, Ang. Come on, buddy. All right, what's your number 4? Redeem yourself, goddammit. Redeem yourself.
Number 4, I am going to my favorite album, Powerage. Well, I tied my baby to the railroad track. Cannonball down the line. Giving that woman just one more chance. Give it to me one more time. What's next to the moon? I know it's a deep track for a lot of y'all, but again, one of those things that hooks me. You know as well as anybody how frustrated of a guitar player I am. I want to be way better than I am, but apparently you have to practice.
Like I'm not? These guitars behind me, there's about an inch of dust on each one of them.
Can we get the close-up on those things, please?
They're wall art, John. They're wall art at this point.
So's my bass. That's how bad I am. I've actually gone to playing the bass. I've given up with 6 strings.
You're thinking that would help. Just cut 2 strings off.
Doesn't. One little bit. Not at all.
How can it hurt?
But when I pulled up the tab to this, I'm like, ooh, I think I can do this. No, I can't. No, it's ridiculously difficult to play open strings with the correct palm muting and rest that the guys put into this shit. It's really fucking hard. But I tell you, there's so many things I love about this song. But it also harkens back a little bit to my youth in the first verse. Cannonball down the line. Engineer wishing he was home in bed, dreaming about Casey Jones. Well, Casey Jones was a fucking black and white TV show while I was a wee nipper. One of the few American shows we would get in the UK back in whenever that was, the early 70s, right? Casey Jones, Stephen and the Rocket. It tugs on me. I just love the song. For me, it encapsulates Powerage, which is my favorite album. And I want to draw onto something, Randy. Can you imagine this? Just think about this. 1977, Let There Be Rock. 78, Powerage. 79, Highway to Hell. I mean, that is a run of some fucking music. Let me tell you about it. Oh, and let's not forget the year before, 76, Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap. They could have quit right then, and they'd have been on Mount Rushmore for rock and roll bands.
However, not to geek out on you, but if you're over here, Dirty Deeds came out, wait for it, after Back in Black.
What?
Yep. It was not released
no
here.
You know what you're talking about?
How weird is that, right? Because they were so huge, Back in Black blew up. Well, we better release this. So people, myself included, were kind of confused.
What?
Like, what the fuck is this? Oh, it's an old AC/DC album. Hey, listen to it. It's awesome. But yeah, it did not come out at that time here. Yeah.
Wow.
Weird, eh? I know.
Wow.
What can I say?
I know there was the whole TNT and high voltage thing with the Australian stuff. We got pretty much on time, I think, in the UK. But, you poor unfortunate souls.
What can you say? Now, to comment on that song, fuck, Hats off to you, sir. Another deep cut. I mean, that song is awesome. It's not my favorite AC/DC album. It's my second favorite. Highway to Hell is my favorite, just by a fucking hair. But yeah, I love that album too. But there's another song I think... Actually, there's two songs on that album I think are better. But I fucking love that song. I really do. And Casey Jones, I was not hip to that. And you're getting it and you're in fucking England. Like, what the fuck? Okay, let's keep it moving. Number 3. Top 3, dude. We're into the fucking nitty gritty now, dude. Okay, this song could have been number 1 for me. This top 3 is interchangeable. Needless to say. Take off your high heels, let down your hair. Paradise ain't far from there. I'm gonna walk all over you. Walk All Over You from Highway to Hell. Again, a deeper track. But oh my God. I fucking love this song. Obviously, it's number 3. That riff comes in slow and heavy. Phil hitting it hard. I remember listening to it thinking, oh, the gears are going to shift here. I just know they are. There's no way this song is going to keep this pace. Well, sure as shit. On a fucking dime. Off it goes. And I'm fucking in. Goosebumps everywhere. What a riff. And what a fucking groove. Again, you can't say AC/DC without groove.
Right.
That's the key to this fucking band is the groove. And Angus's fucking guitar solo towards the end is off the hook. It's so fucking bitchin', right? Now, I hate to be negative about it, but I'm going to have to be. The concert film. You know where I'm going. You know me well. The concert film, Let There Be Rock, which I'm holding in my hand right now, they play this song in its entirety, but they don't show the band. What do they show? Phil Rudd driving his Porsche 944 around a frozen fucking lake, and you get Bon Scott doing a fucking jig. He's racing a plane in his Porsche. I don't care. Show the band. You're killing me. Boys, you are killing me. You know it exists. Surely they didn't shut the cameras off.
No.
So where is it? It should be an extra on here. So ends my fucking rant. I'll close with this. Before I let you take the floor and Walk All Over You. A fun fact, back to GNR, they've been doing this song in their set lately.
Oh, yeah?
Which I thought, hey, that's pretty fucking cool. And I bet you, I throw a number out. 80% of the people in the stadium have no idea what it is. I don't care.
They're probably trying to wonder what album of GNR's it's on.
Right.
Is that a B-side? Is that a B-side?
Exactly. I love when bands do that.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. They love the song. They play it. Great. Why? Because it's a great fucking song. To you, sir.
So far, you've come up with 3 songs that you, in hindsight, you knew I was going to put on. I knew this was coming on.
Yeah, you did.
Somewhere with you. It came up a little bit higher maybe than I thought, but I know it's the one ACD track that I know grabs you by your gray curly hairs.
The gray short and curlies, yeah.
And I also know that you can't go to that song without going to the dark side of the DVD. But
yeah.
Hey.
And John, if you knew me really well, I have no short and curlies. I'm a manscaper. There's no short and curlies. TMI.
We didn't get that close in Vancouver.
Yeah. What do you think? I should know that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Enough about my pubes.
Enough. Moving on.
Okay, John, what do you got for number 3, buddy?
Okay, the first step on my AC/DC podium. Angus. Those are the words I'm giving you. Angus. And I'm going with Whole Lot of Rosie, but the live version. It's the only live song I got on here. Frankly, Rosie is a great song, but you alluded to it earlier. It is a different animal when you hear it live. We've talked about it a couple of times, but I distinctly remember when we were in Vancouver and they started out with that riff, and you and I are screaming at the top of our lungs, and I swear to God, there were 10 other people in that fucking venue doing the same. I could have cried having been at this place, and this was my third time seeing AC/DC in Donington. I was there for the first year in 81 and again in 84. And the place just goes fucking nuts. And when that riff starts, the whole crowd just erupts into it. They know what's coming. And it is a classic, arguably the classic AC/DC song. Whole Lot of Rosie.
It's so great. And back to your point about not everybody saying it, putting it mildly, it was embarrassing.
It was awful.
Like, as an AC/DC fan, by that point, you should know what to do there. Like, come on, man. I know audiences in England and South America, they're more hardcore. I get it. But come on. This is basic. This is AC/DC 101, man.
Yes. This is what you
Come
do.
on.
I mean, you shouldn't have to read a booklet when you go in there. There shouldn't be a pamphlet to tell you of what to do. Like, Jesus Christ, man. It's the only time I've ever been disappointed in an AC/DC show, and it wasn't because of the band.
Hey, it didn't bring us down. We moved
No,
on.
it's not. we had a good time.
Okay, buddy. My number 2 is the best song on Power Age. That's all I'm going to say about that. Here's the lyric. I got holes in my shoes, and I'm way overdue. Down payment blues. There's something about this fucking song.
Wow.
It's the dynamics of it. So there's that build at the start. You got the guitar just really low in the mix, right?
Yeah.
You got the bass, and that hi-hat comes in. And then that main riff takes off. Drums come in. It's dynamics is the word I keep coming back to. And this song's got a shit ton of them, right?
It's awesome.
It really is. And I love the laid back kind of bluesy vibe to it, right? Especially that opening verse. And then by the time you get to the second verse, it's rocking harder and harder and harder and harder,
Yeah.
right? What else? The chorus goes down to basically just the vocal, right?
Yeah.
Just Bon. And then he says, down payment blues. And then there's no hesitation. It's just fucking boom. And I love that. I just love that light and shade or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They got tons of it and I fucking love it. I'm just going to give you a couple more lyric lines because I think they're really cool from Bon. This guy's a phenomenal lyricist. You know, people talk about Neil Peart and these guys. I think Bon, in his own way, is up there with those guys.
Oh,
I really
no
do.
question. No question.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm living a nightmare. She's looking like a wet dream. I got myself a Cadillac, but I can't afford the gasoline.
I
mean,
got
come
my
on.
down payment blues.
Right? And I love the ending too. They switch it on a dime again and it goes way down. Like they slow it way down on to the outro, right? This is AC/DC at their bluesy fucking best. It wasn't a concert staple by any means, but it's my number 2 AC/DC song of all time, dude. That's what it is.
Wow.
So there you go. Suck on that.
Suck on that. I mean, holy shit. Tip my hat to you, brother. That's a good.
Just thought of this. Fun fact. I just thought of this. Scott Ian's favorite AC/DC song from Anthrax.
There you go.
Just saying.
Interesting.
There you go.
I've said it before. I love the album. It's wall to wall for me. You know, you're wrong. What's Next to the Moon is a song on that, but you know, each to their own. I'm super impressed, young man, that you picked a Power Age song to be that high. Number 2 for me, Silver Medal. One step from the top run. And I'm going to channel my inner Jack Black for this. We roll tonight to the guitar bite. For those about to rock, we salute you. So many things about this song. Again, it's become since 1981 of the self-titled album, For Those About to Rock. And since then, it's been the closing song for every single show. And rightly so. It brings the show to a massive crescendo. And there's nothing left to say after this. And I have a personal affiliation with this just because of my time in the military. But legend has it that while they were writing this, they were in London right at the time of Prince Charles and Lady Diana's wedding. And the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery were firing the Royal Salute to celebrate their marriage. That was my old regiment. And so having that kinship, and that when Angus heard those guns going off, it was like, I gotta put something to that, and that's where this whole song developed from there. And my time in that regiment, we did several public performances, and I always thought it would be so fucking cool if one time we could be drug out to close off an AC/DC show. Maybe it still can, but for those about to rock, you talked about the different cuts, Randy, of maybe making different shows. For me, there's three that can't be left off. Rosie's one of them. For those about to rock, and there's one more.
I can't argue with that. If it was a top 15, it would be in there for sure. One of the things I love about it is how, again, I know the band, I know their songs well, I know their songwriting style well. You know there's going to be a pace change. And they fucking make you wait for it.
A long time.
And when it comes, it's like, yeah! And Angus goes ballistic. Then you're right, live, it's the closer. It has to be. It's just awesome. It's another one of their epics.
Keep
really coming back to that word. It really is. Fucking for those about to rock, yeah. Awesome. Number 1, John. What's it gonna be? My number 1 song. Well, to me, it's obvious. Are you ready?
Yep.
I never shot nobody. Don't even carry a gun. I ain't done nothing wrong. I'm just having fun. It's Riff Raff. Riff Raff, baby. It's good for a laugh. Yeah, Riff Raff of Power Age. I thought of a lot of other songs for this position, but none of them tops this one for me. It's one of the greatest riffs of all time, let alone AC/DC riffs. It fucking rips. And you like a fast one, this one goes, man. Well, it starts off slow. But man, when it starts in, it's on, right? The energy is crazy.
So it's almost like you're sort of just winding him up a little bit, and then...
Right?
Yeah.
Good one. It's like you're winding Angus up. And then he goes. That's right. Absolutely. What else can I say? I got here, Angus goes ballistic, which is basically what happens, right? Yeah, the solos, he does a couple, they crush as usual. I don't know what else to say about it other than, to me, it sums up what AC/DC is in 5 minutes or whatever it is, 5 some odd minutes. It was a staple of the live set back then. And if somebody came up to me who's never heard the band, not a note, and they said, what's AC/DC sound like? I'd play him this song.
Interesting.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I fucking love it. Riff Raff, baby. Number 1.
Randy, you're wrong.
He's speechless.
No, you're just wrong. I feel for you. I think you've given a valiant effort. I'll give you that.
How can this song? This song's not even on your list.
Not even on my list. Not even on my list.
Oh, look at the time. Look at the time. Yeah.
Whose show is this?
Suddenly it's just me sitting here. Nobody wants that, by the way.
The irony in all this, right, is that my favorite album of AC/DC, I've pulled off one song off of it. You've pulled 2, and they're in your top 3. That's just wild.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. So
right?
That's odd, right? And again, we've overlapped once. Rosie. Dude, again, at the risk of repeating myself, I am shocked by that. We both love this band, and they seem to have obvious great songs. No. They've got a ton of great songs.
I'm going to shock you even more.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I'm going to shock you even more because I went down to the record store and bought Back in Black fresh off the shelf. I still have it. I still have my original vinyl. It's beat to rat shit, but I still got it. There is not a Back in Black record song on my top 10. He just left.
Sorry, man. I had to take a second.
He couldn't handle it.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? And you're a Brian Johnson guy, I thought.
I'm a Brian Johnson guy, and I'm 5 for 5. I'm 50-50. I did the math, and this was not a conscious decision. But when you posed me the question, when you said, "Okay, I want you to do this," I'm like, "Okay, one song straight away." I was like, that's my song. To your point, if somebody said to me, hey, John, hey, you're an AC/DC fan. I've never heard them. What song should I listen to? This is the first thing I throw at them. And again, it just really highlights your ineptitude in this whole.
Says the guy with not one cut off Back in Black, unless this is it.
In the beginning, 1955, man didn't know about a rock and roll show and all that jive. You had him at number 6, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're wrong. Off the self-titled album from 1977, Let There Be Rock. Let There Be Rock. That is AC/DC. One song, one band. All the things that you talked about earlier, like it goes up, it goes down. The sideshow of the promotional video is kind of fun, but it still stands the test of time for me. Born Primal on the live album, If You Want Blood, like it's off the charts. But Brian does just as good of a job with it for me. It's just that good. And those breaks and those mini little solos in between. The second one, the Chuck Berry one. Oh, God, that's just rock and roll. I love rock and roll. I mean, I'm a Setzer fan like you. I love the rockabilly style of things. The fact of the matter is, probably other than For Those About to Rock, is the longest song that they play during the show. So enough said. They know it's the best. I know it's the best. You're wrong. I think we're good.
Well,
I think we're good.
The guest is always right. Welcome to You're Wrong.
Welcome to You're Wrong.
Oh, it's
Randy.
It's such a great song, man. Yeah, I mean AC/DC is Chuck on steroids, man. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I wish I could argue that more, but I can't. It's a great song. Absolutely, man. Okay, let's get to these honorable mentions.
All right.
I kept mine to 3. I don't know about you, but so I'll rattle off my 3. Then you can do yours. Okay, ready?
Go.
Chew it up. Spit it out. Let it all hang out. Beating around the bush, which you mentioned. I can't remember which number you had it, but you had it in your top 10. It's an honorable mention for me for sure. I'm a sucker for these fast ones, as are you. That stop-starty riff, you mentioned that. Really cool. And again, the G word, the groove, is irresistible. I'm all in on beating around the bush, baby. Okay. Number 2, honorable mention. I'm cool as a body on ice, hotter than the rolling dice. Send you to heaven, take you to hell. I ain't fooling, can't you tell? I'm a live wire. So I thought I'd show the first album a little respect, not just because of that. I do love the song. You said that earlier. Oh, I didn't feel the need to, respect each album. I didn't either. It was the song.
Yep.
This just happens to be the only one up the debut. Fucking Livewire kicks ass. I love the way it starts off, super chill. Just Mark Evans playing that little bass line. And then Angus comes in with the riff, Phil with the hi-hat. Again, they're masters at this, man. And then this guy here, Malcolm, comes in and it's fucking on, buddy. Again, the breakdown after the solo is fucking badass. Brings it way down. Angus holds that fucking feedback note. Wah! And then the band comes in. Bam, bam. Livewire. Number 2, honorable mention. Okay, last but not least, love this song. I stirred my coffee with the same spoon. Knew her favorite tune. Gone shootin'. Gone shootin' off Power Age. Dude, I love Power Age. Again, the groove is sick. This is one I would call a little funkier. That bass line is funky as hell from Cliff Williams. A bit different for the boys. And I like that. I love this song. It's simple, but catchy as shit. Laid back, so cool. Gone Shootin' is my number 3 honorable mention.
And that's what I think is too, is like, folks, if you haven't checked it out, check out Power Age, the album. There's a lot of that movement up and down. In many ways, it's not your standard album. I mean, Angus said, got told, you did 12 albums that all sound the same. He's like, oh, that's garbage. We did 13 albums that all sound the same. Power Age does not sound the same. It does not. There's so much movement up and down those tracks. We should do a whole section on Power Age.
Well, compare Riff Raff to Down Payment Blues.
100%.
There's no similarity there whatsoever. How about Sin City?
Right?
Come on. Right? Give me a bullet.
Oh.
Anyway, Okay, dude, give me your honorables. Let's go.
My honorable mentions from 74 Jailbreak, Soul Stripper. Such a dark song. It's so dark. Stuck a knife in and turned it around. Beautiful. Love that one. You like your bagpipes? 1976's High Voltage. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. I mean, come on. This is them just having a hoot. I can just imagine them sitting there going, we need a little more. Well, I got the bagpipes.
Who else is making that sound cool?
No one.
That's the answer.
Fucking no.
No one.
From 1988's Blow Up Your Video, This Means War. This is my number 3 honorable mention. And yeah, by the way, I didn't do 3. So fuck you. It isn't the same, but the riff on This Means War it sort of caught me very much the same as Fire Your Guns. It's a real catchy, fast hook. For me, Head and Shoulders the best song on that album, which in place was a bit weak. They had a couple of good tracks, Heat Seeker and That's the Way I Want to Rock and Roll, which were staples for a little bit on their on the live show.
I take that one. That's the Way I Want to Rock and Roll is my favorite off that album. Yeah.
God, you're not very good at this.
I suck at this.
My homage to Dirty Deeds, Dunditch, the 1976 album is Rocker. At the end of the day, that's what we are, my brother. We are rockers. That is just a killer song, man. And hearing that one live with Bon, just brilliant. And my last honorable mention was somebody please put some lyrics to Chase the Ace. Come on. Tell me that isn't a great riff. It just needs fucking words. It's the only thing on Who Made Who that should be listened to again and again. Chase the Ace, people.
Dude, that's what they're throwing away. Maximum Overdrive, you can have this.
Have this.
Right?
We got nothing else to do with it. Are you kidding me?
Man, I did not see that coming. That's awesome, dude. I hadn't thought about... Yeah, there's that and DT.
DT.
Is the other...
DT was
right?
the slow one. I needed the fast one. I can't do the slow shit.
Right. People hate on the song Who Made Who. I don't mind it. That's the first time I saw them, I believe, was that tour. And they had a bunch of Angus lookalikes.
Yes.
Coming down the ramps. Really cool idea. And then the real Angus, I think he came up from the middle. Fuck, it was really cool.
A quick little anecdote, because my cousin from the UK is a big fan of the show. And Razor's Edge, they were doing the promo videos for Thunderstruck. We actually got tickets to go there, to go and be in the promo video.
To hang on the cage or whatever?
To hang on the cage, yeah. Didn't work out because my cousin, who's a little bit younger than me, came down to London, and we may have tested London out a little bit the night before. And he was in no fit shape to go.
You're killing me.
No.
You're killing me right now.
No, yeah.
You could have been in the AC/DC video.
Yeah, so,
oh my God.
Cousin Christian, hope you're watching this. Yeah, you fucked the whole thing up.
Oh my God. Damn you, Guinness. And damn you, Christian.
I'd completely forgotten. He reminded me of it a couple of weeks ago. I was telling him we were doing this.
You definitely did not tell me that. I would have remembered that. Holy fuck.
I had no idea. I didn't remember it either. He reminded me.
That would haunt you now. It's going to haunt you to your dying day.
Apparently it haunts him way more than it does me.
Oh, man. Okay, man. Let's sum up. I'll go first. This was a brutal list to put together because they have so many great fucking songs. But I realized 2 things while I did it. First off, you alluded to it earlier. The big joke is, and they say it themselves, well, their songs are all the same and they put out the same album time after time and blah, blah, blah. But when you dive into their catalog, I don't think that's true. Like if you really go into it, sure, they're a blues-based hard rock band. And they don't stray too far from that world, right? But they do so much within it. It's fucking unreal. Like it's genius. And I'm using the G word here in this proper form. It's genius what they do in those parameters. Like they're not going to fucking sound like Pink Floyd the next album. I get it. But they're geniuses at what they do. And your average music fan doesn't really realize that, I feel. I think it's from the heart and it's genuine. You can feel that, right? And that's the reason it resonates. Generation after generation, people get into this band, and that's why. The second thing I came to realize, it was fucking hammered home like it needed to. I love this fucking band. They're top 10 bands for me of all time, if not top 5. Like, I haven't put that list together yet. Maybe that's another show. That's how much I love them. It was reinforced doing this list. That's all I'm saying. You?
Top 3 for me, easy. No question. I don't have to think about it. My line with AC/DC is this, simply, Randy. If they don't get your feet tapping, you are dead. It's that simple. And actually going through this process a little bit, I've spoken to some people, and especially people who aren't AC/DC fans at all. And they are shocked to know how many AC/DC songs they actually know when they hear them. They don't know that they're AC/DC songs. They actually don't even think they know AC/DC, but they go, oh, that's AC/DC? I mean, they've been doing this for 50 years. Think on that, right? 1973, the band first formed. We're coming up on 2023, and nothing has changed, really. I mean, yeah, there's some balances here and there, and we've talked about some. There's way too many. And honestly, the thing I'm most, I don't know whether it's happy about, we talked about it right off the top, is where would we overlap? We overlapped 2 times.
Wow. I mean, come on. I had no idea that was going to happen.
That's wild. I don't know that I'm surprised you had as many Back in Black songs as you did. I thought you'd have maybe more Highway to Hell. I surprised myself. I didn't have a Back in Black song on that.
That surprised the shit out of me. Like, I had 3 Back in Black, 3 Highway to Hell. But here's another thing that surprised me. Neither one of us picked the song Back in Black. And people love that song. I've never loved it. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm not going to say it's not good. It is. It's good. But it's that chorus kills me. Bag mama. I mean, it kills it for me. I don't know what it is. I think it's okay. I don't love it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not as anti it as you. I think it's just fine. It would be in my top 20. For sure, it would be in my top 20. It can't make my top 10. There's just way too many others.
You got good songs, and Back in Black can't squeeze into your top 15.
Right.
Oh, man. To your point where people don't realize it's AC/DC and they like it or whatever. I don't know anybody that doesn't like them. Like, they might not be freaks about it like you and me. But I've never heard anybody say, AC/DC sucks, or I don't like AC/DC. I've never heard that in my life.
Yep.
Not one time.
In fairness, I've heard it, but it's from snobs and people who I don't ever want to talk to.
I was going to say, people you don't hang out with anymore. Okay, man. Well, that's a wrap on another Beer, Rum, and Rock and Roll Top 10. I love doing these, and this one was a fucking blast.
It was a hoot.
Thanks for joining me, John. Thanks to you guys out there for checking us out. Follow us on social media. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Post your top 10 AC/DC songs in the comments, man. I'd love to see what you guys like and make fun of it and all that good stuff.
That's right. Do it.
Until next time, I got one more lyric I want to give you. Are you ready?
Ready.
Rock and roll ain't noise pollution. Rock and roll ain't gonna die. Rock and roll ain't noise pollution. Rock and roll, it will survive. Keep rock alive, motherfuckers. John and I are out of here. Peace.